Sometimes I feel I wanna hide, but that's just only in my mind. This funky groove just keeps me high. It brings me alive.
And maybe I'll wait for the ring. Get caught up in it, let my thoughts go. So many things on my mind. Get me back living high. Ooh, I think I'm feeling real nice. And give me that 35. And play me that 35. And play me that 35. Feel this 35. Can you feel this 35? I feel this 35. Can you feel this 35?
There's just so many ways to feel. Yeah, this is different, but it's made to heal. Just let this groove run through your mind. Let it get you high.
It's more than a moment, giving me life. The feeling of euphoria, colors are flickering bright. And I'm here, got me going. And I don't wanna leave, keeping me here. And play me that 35. Play me that 35. I feel this 35. Can you feel this 35? I feel this 35. Can you feel this 35?
It's overwhelming and indescribable. I get stressed from the world, so I'm turning to unreliable. Bass, guitar, and some keys, even the horns takes me places in the fields of gold I can adorn. I feel at most peace I possibly ever been, especially in those moments where it's set for me to never win. Overcome the odds, expression that be my cause, and turning this energy to a round of applause. I sing in with the melodies, flowing vibes incredibly. 2 steps to shoulder bounces and rocking steadily. Illustrate my thoughts with this pen to paint a better me. It's my escape of running this race to where the cheddar be. Now my emotions exploring all on the canvas, so even when I'm old, I'm still a man on the canvas. Keeps me clean even when my thoughts is on the dirty side. That's why I'm baptized with blessings on this 35.
It's on my mind. This 35. Let our thoughts just intertwine and fill up on this 35. It's always 35. This 35. Let our thoughts just intertwine and fill up on this 35. It's always 35. Let our thoughts just intertwine and fill up on this 35. It's on my mind. I'm feeling on this 35. Let our thoughts just intertwine and fill up on this 35. Feeling on this 35. Check 1, 2. This 35.
Greetings. Struggle streaming already. Got some things going on, but we're going to make it through this one. I hope everybody's okay. Type some ones. Let me make sure you guys can hear me because I want to get started with the show. And I don't want to stop because we have a special guest tonight. It's going to be a great one tonight. So type some ones. Let me make sure you guys can hear me. Anybody type a one. Let me make sure my audio is good. Thank you, gifted musician. Torino, what's up? Hope I pronounced your name right. But yeah, we're going to get started. The most disturbing thing came into my inbox, pause, and it was the craziest thing I ever seen. And it's a host of reasons why. You're going to see this little clip. You're going to be like, that's it? But we're going to dig into it. I want you guys to take a look. I don't want to play the music because, Facebook be tripping and so does YouTube. So they use somebody else's music. So I got it muted. But I want you guys to see this real quick snippet. This lady said, my sons don't need their father. I got them. So she starts dancing and she's dancing whatever. Now her kids, her boys, all three boys are walking. This last one twerks. And it was by far to me very, 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 let me center myself, very disturbing. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not so much because the last boy was twerking. I mean, for those of us who don't subscribe to that kind of thing, it can be disturbing. I understand that. But the biggest thing was thinking that you don't need a child's father. Now, I'm an advocate of both parents, okay? Mother and father. Johnny Goodlow said it is very disturbing. And look, I'll let you have that. But children need both mother and father. And I haven't seen too many fathers who are raising their children alone say, I didn't need her. No, they need them because we bring different elements to a child's life. But I deal with stats and statistics here. So I don't just deal with opinions. Your opinions are respected. But over here, I deal with statistics. No, this ain't it. I know. I'm trying to be diplomatic here. Let me be diplomatic today because we're going to get to the down and dirty. But look at this statistic. I want you guys to take a look at it. Is it here? Right here. Okay, it's talking about father absence. It's a crisis in America, okay? 1 in 4 children will be born without a father in the house. But there are risks here. There's a greater risk of poverty, more likely to have behavior problems, greater risk of infant mortality, more likely to go to prison, more likely to commit crime, more likely to become pregnant as a teen. I guess it wouldn't be a man, would it? Right. More likely to face abuse and neglect, more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol, more likely to suffer obesity, like we don't have that problem as, Black people, and more likely to drop out of school. These are statistics that you cannot ignore. So for anyone to say, now, this is not my words. These are not my opinions. These are stats. These are things taken. If you want to know, this is from the United States Bureau of Census, or whatever Census Bureau. You can go there and look yourself. These are statistics. So it's not just me. So if you're looking at these statistics, can you honestly say you can do this alone or you don't need a father? That's absolutely positively incorrect. Now, some of my brothers would look at this and say, oh, yeah, you need a man in the house because there's no way no man like myself or any of them would allow their boy to twerk up like a woman. Now, that's my opinion. That's my morals. That's my belief. If you believe differently, that's fine, but not over here. I don't want my son twerking like that, especially that young. Now, if you want to be old and you want to twerk it up for LeBron and every other superstar, then go be my guest. But over here, we don't do that. So I hope you can understand that. But that's not the only thing that happened. This guy right here, where is he at? Right. Gifted musician said right. But look, this guy right here. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's Funky Deneva or Deneva or whatever, right? As you can see, he's dressed, he has a full beard mustache, you got lipstick, you got eyeliner or whatever, and a wig, right? Or what? Oh, maybe that's his hair, I don't know. But this is what he had to say about men who play video games, because most musicians, we're grown men, but we also play video games. Listen what he said.
Now, I, for the life of me, cannot get into grown-ass men playing video games. I'm going to be very honest with y'all. I am 40 years old. I have a lot of friends. I've got fraternity brothers. I've got friends who are doctors, lawyers, dentists. I've got friends who are dope boys. I got all types of friends, and none of them play PlayStation. It's just something about me and a woman that go with a man that play PlayStation. You deserve kitty games, kitty attitudes, and all the kitty shit that he puts you through. And I know it's a lot of hit holes on this thing right now. It would be the biggest turnoff to me if I was on the phone with my man. I say, babe, what you doing? And this nigga say, I'm on my way to GameStop to pick up the latest Madden. He could never call me again.
Okay. First things first, to the gentleman or whatever you describe yourself as, I have something to say to you.
Shut the
Because what you're saying is absolutely stupid. There are games for men who are older, like football, like basketball. This is a way a lot of men take time to unwind from a busy day or a hectic day. They may sit down and play a game. It helps them lose, everything that's going on. It helps them to take their mind off of it. Maybe they're stressed out. Video games play a part in that. Maybe that woman that they're with is stressing them out. But it's kind of difficult for me to look at somebody who's not necessarily with a woman to tell me what, if you was a woman, what you wouldn't do. But I know a lot of women, especially women who date musicians, they know we play video games. At every studio I've ever been to in life, they have a video game center. At everyone. So what are you telling them? And what's weird to me that I've been seeing happen way more often today than any other time is people telling us what we should be doing as men that are not even men, that don't want to be men, that never will be a man and probably was a man and not thinking like a man anymore. Why don't we just have men have these discussions? Men for men. Because it's like we don't get to tell women what they should be doing. It's like we saying, oh, you're a woman and you accessorizing with gold hair all over the place. You're not a real woman. We are not allowed to do that. So you should take a chill pill, sir, ma'am, whatever you describe yourself to be, and let us do our thing. I absolutely see nothing wrong with grown men playing video games. Maybe I'm wrong. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I have them all. I have a PlayStation 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if I'm a child, then so be it. But I don't play kiddie games. You'll never see Mickey Mouse Greatest Adventures at my house. You're going to see real games. You're going to see Call of Duty. Maybe I don't really play that one, but you're going to see 2K. You're going to see Madden. And I can't wait till college football comes out. But this is just what we do. If you don't like it, find somebody else to date. You don't want a musician because most of us play games or spending time with their kids and nephews. Nothing wrong with it. Shatina, she's a woman. How you doing, sweetheart? Okay. Now another episode of this. Listen. I'm going to cover this until it's over, just so you know. Until it's over, I'm going to stop covering it. But it seemed like every week it should change it from Black Mafia family to how do we F up Charles' life today? It's like, how do we emasculate this man even further? What I'm confused on is this woman told this man that she's in love with another man, which is pretty much a done deal. Once a woman tells you she feeling another dude, just go, fellas. It's not going to work out for you, okay? But she told him that. Here's my problem. When he came back and they was working it out, didn't they get busy? I'm thinking this dude thinking they working it out, and she got her heart on somebody else living in his house that he pays the bills. She works at Wendy's. She ain't paying all them bills. So I'm confused, ladies. And why am I confused? Because I'm seeing too many ladies saying, oh, well, he deserved it. Now, he does not get away from cheating on his wife, especially with his friend with the three strokes he gave her. In 2 sessions, he had 1 stroke in one and 2 in the other, but it doesn't matter. He still slept with somebody that wasn't his wife. Got it. But I'm from the school of thought that once we cross that line, we say, okay, we're going to try to work on this, then we work on it. If you bring somebody else in the mix, that's not us working on us. That's you trying to choose between 2 dudes. Now, he effed up when he said, when she told him, I'm going to choose who I'm going to be with, right then and there, it's over for you because it shouldn't be nobody else in the picture. But it seemed like this show got Charles looking really, really, really bad. And I'm thinking, now this is just me. I'm thinking, Charles, when you go out on tour, you find you a nice little good one, and you really just go I mean, you are owed at this point, my bro. after everything you after everything you go through, you at least get 1 pound town experience. Let me see. Did she say let's work on it? Well, I get what you're saying, Shatina, but here's the thing. When they had sex, if I can say that on YouTube, please don't forgive me. But when they crossed that line and they got together, I'm thinking, as I'm sure he was, that okay, we're working on us. We're working on us. We're getting through this thing because that was one of the things that they were lacking in their marriage, regardless of whatever reason. But that was one of the things, that's one of the reasons why he had those moments of weakness with this other little thing that was floating around here. Right. So I'm thinking, just like any other man thinking, we did this, so we really trying to work on this. But if you bring somebody else in the room, it kind of makes that little bit of complication, right? So before I move on to Preachers Going Wild, this was posted by a friend of mine, and I wanted to share my thoughts on this. He said, so let's talk about recommending another bass player for subbing, because I do that a lot because I travel. I may be with Ricky, I may be here or there or whatever. But he said, what are some of the criteria to confidently recommend another player? I guess they can play, they're on time, they're professional, they do what they're supposed to do. My musician friends who have people subbing for you, I'm sure you can second this, right? And they said, would you recommend somebody purely based on reputation? No. I have to know you. I really have to know you. I have to be able to vouch for you because they are in your stead. So if they jack up, they're not going to go to them. They're going to go to you. So I can't say, oh, he's a beast. Somebody come and say, oh, he's a beast. Everybody knows him. And then I hire you and I take a chance on you. I'm running a risk myself. So I probably would not let you sub for me. I need to know you. Now I have people that sub for me, Rob, John, Arthur, Ryan, Miz, I've hit him up, when he's available, maybe he could do one for me. But you got to find somebody that somebody you respect, somebody who's professional, somebody who carries on in the way that you would. Hopefully you're doing your job. So no, what would cause you not to recommend anybody that's opposite of what I just said? You're late all the time, you high, you smell like homebred sin, you just not doing what you're supposed to do, you hot-headed, nobody can tell you nothing. These are not people that I would call to sub for me. So I hope that would help you. A lot of us who are very, very busy musicians, we often do rely on our subs to carry on when we're not there. And I'm thinking that most of us, we're trying to get people, I would say, build up a collective of musicians that you can call when you're not going to be there. Like I said, Rob, John, or whoever, somebody who can cover for you. But if it's somebody new, you better get to know them because they can mess up your whole situation. So I hope that helped you. Okay, because I got a special guest today, I need to change these lights in the studio. Woo! Must build a cover crew. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's very important. Make sure you get somebody that can cover for you and has your spirit, your attitude, and everything that you bring to the table. Because the people who hire you, they're going to be looking for that same person. Like Bishop says all the time, hey, well, he needs to sound like Derek. Derek got my sound. So yeah, somebody that can step in and they can say, okay, well, D, you wasn't here. But we, basically, and that's another thing. Some musicians, you put somebody on the sub and you worried that they're going to take your gig. Honestly, for me, I want somebody that's going to blaze because that's a good representation of me. Because they're going to say, when I need to go somewhere, say for instance, you need to go on a longer tour. Those days, I don't like to do those now, but some of you still want to travel, be gone months and maybe a year or whatever. You're going to have somebody that when you're gone, you can say, okay, well, this person is good enough where they're not really going to miss me in my absence. Listen, if you've built a relationship with people, especially your bosses, and they can, vouch for you and your character, they won't fire you just because you working somewhere else. They will be happy that you sent somebody that's good enough where they can still carry on without having to carry this musician that you sent to us. Or if I'm speaking specifically for church and gospel. I don't do R&B. I don't know how y'all do over there, but I'm speaking for me. I would never send anybody that I don't think can represent. I want you to come over there and if anything, be better than I am because that looks good for me. I hope that helped you. First things first. Whew. Some things happen in church that I've been seeing, and this happened one time when I was little. but not like this. Y'all need to check this out. This is gonna freak you out. Okay. If that was you in the church, and I think that was a bat. If a bat flew in the church while you were there in the praise team, how many of you would stay focused and professional and not have done what they did? Would you have ran off like that one dude? Which is weird. The man ran off screaming and the lady stayed and helped fight the, you know what? I won't go here today. But that's weird to me. It was a bat. But I mean, now, understand, if you know anything about bats, most of the viruses that you find are in bats. They have something in their system that makes them immune to most bacteria and viruses. So, but if a bat bites you, that can be very, very problematic. So I can kind of understand why people would be scared when a bat is around, right? But bats typically don't bite you when they're one on them by themselves. Now, if there's a flock of them, you might be in trouble, but that one, he just wants to get away. But they were screaming and running all over the church. And I want to know from my praise team people, would you have stayed there and sang and just let the bat just fly away? Or would you have scattered like they did? Because me, to be honest with you, I'm out of there. I'm sorry, that bass is going to go down. Here you go. And then I'm going to walk away really, really fast. You got me choking. I'm just saying, look, Tawanda, I'm just saying, sweetheart, listen, I don't mess around with bats. I did a lot of research when COVID first hit, and I learned a lot about bats. I'm not, my degree is in technology. I don't have a real science. I'd had to take some, but not like that. But I know how to research. They taught us. And one thing I learned about bats, I don't want to be around them. But they typically don't attack when they're by themselves. But when they're in the pack, but I wouldn't want to chance it. If a bat bites you, yeah, whoa, that might be painful. You have cordless mics. Oh, dude said I'll be walking and singing. Seems similar to what happened at one of the Spurs games way back when. Wait, so it was a bat in the Spurs game? Now, see, I don't think I would stick around. I think I would have been out of there. Carla said, gone. Carla said, I'm out of there. I don't blame you, sweetheart. I wouldn't expect you to stay because your boy would be out. Your boy will be out. Now, there's another phenomenon. It's been around. Baptist preachers, I love you. I was Baptist at one point in time. I came back to the Holiness Church. But you guys do something that, that's typical. And I understand because I can go, see, I didn't need to do all these theatrics because it looks really, really suspect. And I got one here. He's all right. Now, listen. This man ain't praying, by the way. This face right here is not a man that's praying. He's doing something else. And you know what he's doing? He's wondering why you're holding the mic. And I'm not even going to do it in my face because that's super, super hey, listen, could you please say it for me one time?
Pause.
Thank you. It's one of those situations. So you holding this mic, your mouth is open and you're going, Sir, pause. Why are you holding the mic that close and you going like this? And then I'm literally, dude, listen. When I first saw this video, I said, damn! There's no way. I'm going to do that. And if you are a pastor watching this, please stop. Please stop. Because you might as well, it's almost like because the worst thing that can happen to you is that you go to jail, right? You may do something and you may go to jail. And then you end up with this dude right here.
Look at me. See how I'm all clean and glistening and
You don't want that. Because the first thing he gonna see is you, and then he gonna see this dude looking at you like, oh yeah, thank you, Pastor. Woo! But anyway, listen, it's another thing that happened. I love the fact that you guys send me videos because it makes my life so much easier. Musicians, we see everything. Fellas, we see everything. And most of us, we see all the good looking women and we see the, women right here. We see the women from all spectrums. We love you all, we do. But some get more looks. That's just the way it is. But there's a new thing that's happening. Well, not new, but it's been covered lately a lot. That it has been sent to me numerous times by musicians. Now, I wonder, some of you are married. Why are you sending me this, sir? Why are you sending me this? Now, y'all saw the ham hocks. I get it. Listen, I'm a man. I understand you're going to look. But let me ask this question. Is that a distraction? Is what she has on, because she's fully dressed, is that a distraction? Do you think she should have worn something that's maybe looser because she's in church? Yes or no? Because there is a preacher out here that was sent to me that thinks differently.
Some of you preaching every Sunday morning, and you still wrestling with a louse demon. That's why you don't dress so tight. You ain't trying to talk about it to God. You trying to let everybody see you done got a BBL. We know that butt ain't yours. I ain't stunned y'all. I'm sick of the devil. We done put on too much of the world. We done put on too much of the world. I'll buy another one. Y'all better get this stuff.
Wait, stop. First of all, they need to fire that sound man. Why is it every time she says something that's ringing? You hear that, sir? Take some of them lows out. Do a high pass filter. I don't know, but take that away. Every time she says something, you're boom, boom. It's irritating.
This up here, y'all ain't saying nothing for the world. We don't gravitate to the world. We don't brought this mess in the house of God. I don't need no shoes move. We don't brought this mess up here in the house of God. That's why the praise team. That's why we're not seeing signs, miracles, and wonders. It's because y'all jeans too tight. We see the front of your coochie to the back of your tail. I ain't stunned y'all. God called me here today.
Okay, so I really don't like when preachers go that graphic. You don't have to say that. Why did you feel like you needed to say the cool word and all of that? Why do we need the visual? We get the visual every week. We understand, but my thing is this. We have a generation of people in church that wear jeans. They wear jeans and everything else. Is it inappropriate for them to wear jeans? Because I'm gonna be honest, some of these ladies, no matter what they wear, they just blessed. You get what I'm saying? It's nothing they can do but not show up, because if they wear jogging pants, it's gonna show. If they wear a dress, it's gonna sit up like a petticoat. It doesn't matter what they wear, it's still gonna show. So I feel like, do you agree that some people are being overly harsh with the way that some of these women dress? Now, some of you, yeah, you take it to the next level. You take it to this next level. But I really want to know, do you think that this is acceptable to say over the mic or to really challenge them? Because I'm really getting sick of this. People putting people in ministry, music ministry, on blast like that. Come to our rehearsal, come to our workshops, come places where you can specifically talk to us, because to do it over the mic, and then you got people who really envy the musicians, who really envy the singers. They say, now, yes, and then you got the mothers sitting in the back, they looking like, yes, looking like all haters, because they remember when everybody used to look like that. So now nobody's looking at them, so now they mad. So my thought process is, don't do it there. And you ain't got to be so nasty with it. Just be like, look, you can cover up or whatever. We don't need to see all of that, ma'am. I think it's a nicer way to do it. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. There's a time and a place for everything. Let me see this. There's a time and place for everything. I'm like, you don't like that. What did you say? I'm like, I don't like that. Okay, you can evangelize. Right. Okay. I agree. Some try to dress conservatively, but their assets, emphasis on that first syllable, still show out in service. Yeah, it's just what it is. I believe it's unavoidable. Black women, especially, y'all carry it different. It's really nothing you can do. But I really feel like sometimes, like, you have a big butt. Maybe you shouldn't wear jeans so tight that we can see your boy shorts, your thongs, your dimples in your butt. And so and y'all love to clap and that junk be just jiggling everywhere. We get it because musicians, we see it all. So we sitting there, some of my musicians, some of my musicians, they be looking like crazy. They be like, they definitely watch. But me, the conservative ones, we like, it's nice, man, but cover it up. Cover it up. Now we're going to our musicians friends. I hope this never happens to me ever.
God.
All right.
Amen. If I know him, Lord, have mercy. Wait a minute. Y'all help him. Lord.
Yes, Lord.
This boy done tore up the whole organ.
Seat. Yeah. He done broke it.
Are you okay?
Okay.
That bass sound good, though. I ain't gonna front.
Lord, this boy done tore up the whole organ. He done tumbled off the whole organ.
Whose fault was that? Do you think that organ bench was old and just was on his way out? Or do you think he was too big and crushed it? That's my question. Because we've been seeing a lot of this happen where these seats are not holding like they used to. Now, that B3 seat, I felt like it could hold anybody. Because if Thomas Whitfield can sit there and some of these larger musicians can sit there, so what's going on with these new seats that everybody's breaking them? Everybody's breaking them. But speaking of keyboard players, kind sir, licking on now, listen, my doctors and nurses, please help me out here. But I'm thinking licking on keyboards that's not yours, licking on those instruments, that can be kind of nasty, right? Because when I saw this the first, I'm like, what?
Man, set your down.
I mean, for real. Like, why would it? See, but I think it's a competition thing because first it was that drummer dude that did all that offbeat stuff and then got off the drums like he was going off. And then there was another one where another drummer was going off. Then there was another one with a bass or guitar player. Now it's this. Is this the norm at quartet musicals now? Because if it is, I don't think I want to go. If it's the norm, I don't want to go. But I'm not going to put my thing on anything like a keyboard or nothing like that. I'm not licking that. Some of y'all licked this. Oh, Jesus, Derek, you almost went somewhere you weren't supposed to go today. Sorry. I'm not trying to go like that. He gonna get locked jaw. It is. It's pure show. I mean, I can't get with it. But you know what? Let's go. We're going to get into something fun because some of you ladies and some of you men, you date a musician. Me playing at Powerhouse and everywhere I play, sometimes we hang out and we play beyond service. Ladies, let me be honest with me. Is this you when your man who's a musician plays after church?
I gotta go,
Oh,
y'all.
this nigga
What
here.
you? I feel that.
Yeah,
You know.
Oh,
Oh, she hungry.
she hungry.
that
I,
makes
I,
sense.
trust me, I
Well,
get that.
I gotta
You
go.
know,
that
you
makes
gotta
you
feed it,
know,
bro. Feed
gotta do
her
what you
now,
gotta
bro.
do
Gotta
and
feed
get
her,
up out of
bro.
here before
Yeah.
she spaz,
He ain't
bro.
trying to die.
All right.
Feed her till she want no more.
Listen, fellas. I'm being honest with you. If that's your girl and she give you that look, you need to be leaving. Leave immediately. Take it from me. Because that look, that after church hungry look is nothing to mess with. They don't play. They ready to go to wherever you trying to take them. For real. And I remember the days when I was dating somebody and she went to the church, and after it was over, we went out to eat a lot. And yeah, every now and then, not often, but every now and then I would get that look. I get that look like you better come on. I'm bro. I'm ready to eat right now. But that's what happens when you date musicians. You know, we want to hang out, we want to play. We want to do things, we want to act silly, we want to play video games. We do things. We go to sheds, we do things. It takes an amazing, now I'm speaking from a male perspective. It takes an amazing woman to date a musician because you deal with so much. You deal with the competition. The competition's out there. Your ops are out there. Sometimes the cops are out there. It's just so much you deal with the musicians, especially church musicians, because sometimes we can be the worst ones. We can be the worst ones. So last week, this young lady left a post and it started a conversation. And I read through all her points. Well, I don't know if she posted some more since I've been there. I'm thinking she's in my green room. I'm ready for you. But listen, when I read the post, I thought it was very well thought out. I was like, okay, this woman gets it. And I think she was sharing something that it resonated with a lot of musicians. A lot of musicians saw this and said, "Oh my God, this this is it. This is what we needed." And it's always good to hear positivity because we hear all the negative stuff all the time. So I wanted to get her on board because she left this post right here. You may have seen it. She said, "Ladies, if you're dating a musician, open this." And it was a trend. It's a trend going on when you open it in the comment section, they leave something. And she left some nuggets. And I want to bring her on board. Her name is Michaela, right? Am I pronouncing that right? Here she is, ladies and gentlemen. Her name is Michaela. Hey, sweetheart.
Hi, yes, it's my Kayla, but that's okay.
Glad you made it. Listen, I wanted to
Thank
have you
you.
on this show to have this discussion because you are like our dream right now because you made some great points. But tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live or what church you go to or whatever.
Okay, I currently live in Greenville, South Carolina. I go to what is now called the Love Story Church. Pastor John Gray is our pastor, and Pastor Aventer Gray. But I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio. So I grew up in music, both sides of my family. My mother and my father grew up in Kojic Church or Baptist Church, and they're all musicians or singers on both of those sides of the family. So you got just regular church services, district services, conventions, and quartet programs, and all of that. So I've been mixed and mingled in a lot of music growing up, and even now, I'm still connected to a lot of musicians.
So
And
what's your
yeah.
thought about men musicians? What when you hear about men musicians, right? What's the first
hmm
thought in the dating scene? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Honestly, the first thing that come to my mind is whew, hard work, especially as the person dating the musician, because you have to understand and you have to be mature and you have to be secure within
Mhm.
yourself and disciplined. You got to be disciplined because I was actually raised not to talk to musicians. Although my
What?
father, my grandfather, my uncles, my cousins, everybody were musicians, but they knew what was going on behind the scenes with a lot of people and a lot of things. And so we were actually raised like me and my aunt would be talking to guys sometimes after church. My dad be like, get your tail over here. Don't do that. So we were raised not to. But as I grew older and even meeting and talking to people, uh when I grew up, I saw the bad, but a
Hmm.
lot of them were so sweet, and they were just so like they were just real. They were human. They were just regular people. Like it was like you get what you get. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm really understanding, anyways. I'm a minister, so I look at things from a different perspective.
Got it. So what
Yeah.
made you leave this post? What made you the post that I posted? What made you leave that post?
So first of all, I had seen the trend, and I'm like, I want to do one of those, but I didn't know what topic to do it off of. So I let it go, weeks ago. I just didn't think of it. And honestly, one morning I woke up and I just was like, you know what? People are always talking about how musicians are cheaters and be careful, and girl, they'll ruin your life. They get you pregnant and leave you high and dry. Like people are always bashing them, and like I said, I have a family of musicians and I don't see that a lot. So I was like, let me show them the other side of this. Like, this is the perfect opportunity to do an open this and give somebody, shine some light on these good musicians and these faithful musicians, the people that are really just out there doing what they say they're doing
Mhm.
and going home not worrying about nothing else. I
Did
just
you think
woke
it would
up.
go as viral as it did?
No, absolutely not. I knew I would get some negative comments in there just because my first comment was they're not all cheaters, because
Oh
I
yeah, you
know
knew that.
that for a fact.
You
Like
knew
I
that.
know that for a fact though. And I knew that was my first comment purposely. I knew I was going to get some negativity from that, but I did not think it was going to go as viral as it did and
Girl,
still is.
when I saw that first one, and we gonna talk about that, but when I saw that first one, I was like, uh-oh. I knew I knew it was gonna be wet because I'm like,
Oh
they
yeah.
always say these musicians be out here. So that was the
Yes.
first one I saw. And those of you who missed it, I do have them actually. I actually have them here. Where it was this one right here. It says they are not all cheaters. And when I saw that one, I said, okay, the bitter Betties are gonna come for her throat on this one. And I
Yes.
knew they were gonna come on. Listen, I was like, oh yeah.
Yes.
Here, and I'm gonna say this. I think what happens is people see this post and they automatically think about all the bad experiences they had. You clearly said they are not all cheaters. You didn't say they
Right.
were mostly or they were all
Right.
faithful. You didn't say that. You said they were not
Exactly.
all cheaters. Now, those who watch my show, I have a different opinion about what constitutes cheating, but I get what you were saying. They're not all cheaters. Now,
Right.
I'm going to let you go, but here's the point. This is from a male perspective. We have all this thrown at us at this time. You know that we may not have the finances, right? But we do
Hmm.
carry with us another thing that women like. They like men who are important. They like men who can get attention. You come walk in the
Hmm.
room, hey, that's D. Hearne. He played bass for Ricky Dillard. Oh my God.
Hmm.
And they look and see people who gravitate to you, and that gets them going. But you got to
Hmm.
understand, there's a lot of other women out there that want them, and a lot of men are not equipped to handle that kind of attention. So
Correct.
before you get into the relationship, quote unquote, with this musician, you have to understand that he's going to have all these options. And it is a good chance, especially the younger ones, older established musicians, we a little bit more laid back with it. But the younger
Yeah.
ones, oh yeah, they're going to go. So what do you think
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah, I think that's definitely true because, like I said, growing up in it, and honestly, like I said, being raised not to even talk to them, you knew that something was going on, and that a lot of them, they were. I mean, a lot of them, like you said, they take certain things to their heads. Like you get to traveling and being noticed by people, and you come into church and like, oh, there goes so and so, oh my God, or when they're playing and you got everybody, "Ah, you better play, you better, you know what I'm saying? And then they love that, they love that attention. And that's why one of my comments was be his number one supporter, sis. You got to show up if don't nobody else show up, and let him know, like, I'm right here. You don't, I appreciate you loving, liking the attention and getting the attention. But at the end of the day, you don't necessarily need that because I'm here. I got you, boo. Don't worry about it. But I do get that and I understand. And a lot of people, they just have to, a lot of musicians, they have to mature. Like my dad, he had to grow up, he had to mature. And It is what it is. That's like athletes. Can't say all athletes are the same.
No, but a lot of them, we both know how that go. Men, we only
Right.
staples our options. To be
Right.
honest with you, but I always say here, make sure you are that option. Make sure you're giving
Yes.
him everything that he needs, so he don't
Correct.
have to be out here you worrying, trying to get, like I said, and you got to learn how to pick them. You got to don't try to just jump into stuff. Take your time
Right.
and get to know
Just
them.
because he
And
cute. Mm-mm.
yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna go through some of the ones, and I kind of want you to elaborate on some. We're not gonna go through all of them because
Okay.
you left some good tidbits though. I ain't even
Okay.
gonna hold you. You did. But we're gonna start off with this one, and I want you to kind of explain what was your thought process on this one.
Okay.
Sit close to the stage, right? You
Mm-hmm.
may need to grab his jacket. What was your thought process behind that one? I like this one.
I thought about all of the times that my family was on stage and the singer is like trying to take off his jacket using the one hand, and we would get up and grab the jacket, help them take it off. Or, they're sitting there trying to, I remember a time where I had to hold the kickstand and the bass drum together to keep it from keep on, pushing up because of the setup was, kind of jacked up. So the closer we were to help them, we just love to support them. We adore them. So anything we could do to help, that was my thought process. Like, I just know who I am as a person. Like, anything you need, I want to be alert. I want to be ready, like an armor bearer. Like, whatever you need, I got you. I'm right here. You need your towel, I'm giving it to you. You need your jacket off, I'm gonna help you take it off. You taking off your heels, I'm gonna help you take off your heels. Whatever it is, I'm right there so that whatever you need, you don't have to struggle for help. I'm right there.
Yeah, you got a lot of flex for this one right here too. You this one, get a keep a towel. That was another one because a lot of women
Yes.
came for your head on that one.
Oh my
Pause, but not
gosh.
really. They was like, why I need to keep a towel or whatever. Let me say this. I'm a sweater. I just do. When I'm playing, I'm gonna be sweating. It would be nice. I wouldn't necessarily say
Hmm.
that you gotta come in and dab my hair like a preacher. That would be dope, but there ain't no way you're gonna get
Right.
over there where I play at. If our else, it's not gonna happen. And not on stage with Ricky, and it's not gonna happen. But
Right.
you can be there with a towel and say, here you go, here's your Gatorade or whatever, and look
Hmm.
out for you. And I think that's what you were trying to say. I don't know why people would
Yes.
take
Yes.
that
I
and
was not
say, oh,
saying
that's too much.
right. I wasn't saying be the man's servant, even though you can. But I was just I was saying like just be ready. Be ready. What is wrong with that?
Because some of them don't want to. I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest. My musician friend, I'm gonna look. I ride with the fellas. We get
Hmm.
we get sometimes where we thirsty and everything. They so busy looking out for themselves and just happy to be in the midst that they not really looking
Hmm.
out for us. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's some women
Right.
that's out there like that. And it can be very frustrating for us because we feel like, okay, and then they get mad. The only time they'll move is when they see another woman doing it. And then they'll
Right.
try to do it. And by then
Right.
it's too late. She's already
Right.
got his attention, ma'am.
Right.
It's too late. So
Uh-huh.
this is another one that was good. This one right here, where you said you do not have to be extra. You seen that to be
Yes.
noticed. This was a good one. What was your thought process behind that one?
Because I have seen so many women do the most to make sure that the other females in the church knew who their man was on the stage. I
Hmm.
have seen I have been in a situation before where a girl was next to me like, "Hey, do you know who that is right there? He's singing real good or he's playing real good." And the girl be like, "Yes, that's my man." And I'm like, "Okay, she was just saying he's doing a good job. Why do you have to do all of that?" So now, there's confrontation or the beef there when it didn't have to be because someone was just giving a compliment or giving props. But we're so used to the female community dating a musician. We're so used to having to be on guard because they say nowadays women are built different. They're different out here these days. They'll do anything. We're so used to having to be on guard to protect our men that our first response is defense when we could just
Right.
be like, "Oh yeah, his name is such and such." Like, I'm that friendly. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's such and such. He cute, ain't he, girl?" I know.
But do you think I really think that happened to me before. I was at a church
Mm-hmm.
and we were playing, and one of the ladies said, I guess she was loud with him. Oh, that bass player, he nice. And the girl
Mm-hmm.
who I was with literally stood up and was clapping and looked down at there. And I'm like, and when she told me about it, and I knew about it because my friends, the other musicians, they saw the
Of
whole thing.
course.
And
Of
so
course.
I tried not to say nothing. I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, whatever. Then she
Right.
said something. I was like, that don't work, right?
Right.
If anything, you just gave her a competition that she may have wanted
Exactly. Because
because
now
there
she
is
gets stuck.
competition out here. Till you say, and even when you are married, it's still competition. You are
Yes.
still in competition with all the other women. So whether
Mm-hmm.
you need to get that out your head, you just need to make sure you doing what you supposed to do
That's
and do the best
right.
you can.
That's
If
it.
he gonna go anyway.
Exactly. That's the point right there. He's gonna do what he wants to do regardless. Just worry about you.
I
Worry
just
about
don't
you.
understand. But this was a good one too. This one you said
Mm-hmm.
stop listening to the naysayers.
Mm-hmm.
This one, what didn't work for them and everything else. This was probably one of my favorites. That statement
Okay.
because I do know how this works. But you tell me
Mm-hmm.
what you were thinking when you posted that one.
Just a simple fact that if you even as a female, when you as soon as you say, "Oh, I'm interested in this drummer or this guitar player," they're like, "Girl, don't do that. He a musician. Don't do that, girl. You know the musicians is this and they that." And they'll automatically, cause chaos or riffraff or just confusion in a situation that honestly could have been the best relationship of your life.
Mhm.
But when you listen to those naysayers because of their experiences, what they've encountered, what they went through, because they were doing the right things for the wrong people, you miss an opportunity, you miss a chance to be something great to somebody or somebody to be great to you. And so I'm just like, don't listen to that because everybody has an experience with somebody. It doesn't have to be just a musician. It's somebody in general. And so if you go based off of what somebody else is saying, now you done missed your blessing. So don't listen to that. Go walk in it, girl. If you feel like it's for you and you think it might be okay, try it out. You never know until you try.
Yeah, that's true. And this is a good
Yeah.
one as well. You said you should be the first person that he calls after the gig and show, right? I
Right.
listen, I would be the one to call her and be on the phone with her the whole time. Like she would be in the car going to the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
hotel while I'm getting changed, or if I'm gonna take a shower, whatever. Then I have on
Mm-hmm.
speakerphone while I'm taking a shower. Then when I'm done
Mm-hmm.
taking a shower, she hears me get in the bed. She even sticks around for my snorkeling. I mean, for real. I
Right.
may wake up and still see the numbers still going, knowing you still there.
Right.
If you are that woman he loves like that, you will be the first person he calls. And you
Sure
won't have to
will.
ask.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna call, even if he's going out, because sometimes we go out to eat, but he
Yes.
still he wants to tell you about
Yes.
his story, what happened at the
Yes.
gig, how did it work? My drummer pissed me off. He did an
Right.
offbeat. Anything that happened, that
Yes.
you hit this nail so because it resonates so much with me personally. Because this
Mm-hmm.
is what I believe in. This woman is your, like you said before, number one fan. And
Mm-hmm.
she needs to understand everything that's happening in my life. I'm gonna share it with my fan before I go live.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Mm-hmm.
going to hear, and then I'm say, "Babe, let me
Right.
go live real quick," or whatever. But
Right.
you hit the nail on the head. I listen. If I was right next to you, I would have gave you a little pat, be like, "Look, you blessed me with this because you was in my mail as a prophet." So you tell me, is this something that resonates with you? Do you do this? Does this happen
Oh,
with you?
yes, absolutely. Because the guy that I date, he will go even so far as I'll, call. Because sometimes they're on the road so much, like, and I'm doing a lot sometimes too, to where I'll like forget something is happening at a certain time because of a time difference. And I'll call accidentally and he'll answer the phone while he's on stage. And I'm like, whoa, 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 I forgot. No, hang up. Like, it's like that. So, when you, like you said, when somebody loves you or cares about you or is interested in you, you're the one, they're going to do whatever it is to make sure hey, it's okay over here, or I'm good, or here's, to still give you that attention or that security. And like you said, after the gig, oh yeah, they definitely got a lot to vent about, whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've experienced that, but I've also had some other experiences where you know,
Yeah. Say less.
yeah. Yeah.
We know how that go. Where he
Right.
was like, "Oh God," and you have to hear about it.
Right.
But that goes to this one where you say, "Who cares?" This is something else that happens a lot. Who
Mhm.
cares? Is another person basically is another person they dated. I hate this part of us, and why?
Mhm.
Because we will toss around the same women.
Mm.
The circle is so small where we just date the same circle of women.
Yes.
So you gonna run into this problem, ma'am. So
Yes, you
somebody
are.
somewhere has had him and you.
Mhm.
What his
Mhm.
what are his friends, what his musician friends mean. And another thing, men gossip too.
Mhm.
They gossip. So this is part of it. This is why vetting somebody or making sure you're with the right person matters before you take it to that next step.
Yes.
Before
Yes.
you cross that line that a lot of us probably will cross, you need to make
Yes.
sure that you know all of this because some of
Yeah.
us are not mature enough to handle the fact
Correct.
that he's been with somebody else. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I agree. You have to. You're gonna face it. You really. It just is what it is. Because before you came, there was Sarah, Kim, and Jessica, and
Lord.
you just got to know that that was then. This is now, and as
Mhm.
long as you are in your now, you should not be worried about that. Because I mean, at the end of the day, who will he be talking to, or should he be talking to, or going home to, or whatever the case may be? At the end, it will be
Mhm.
you. So rest in that, but that again comes with maturity and having a high self-esteem, being secure within yourself. Because honestly, I give this advice, especially with that statement: if it's that easy for a man to go back to who he used to talk to or just leave you, period, then he wasn't yours in the first place.
Right.
So it should never be that easy, right? So if y'all are good and y'all are cool and everything, you're doing what you're supposed to do to support him and be there for him. Doesn't matter with Jessica lost, Kim lost, Sarah lost. They all lost because they over there. I'm here. I won. So this is about me now.
And another aspect I think goes along with that, like, for example, I'm not the same Derek that may have dated you.
Yes.
I may have
Yes.
matured and gained knowledge and become it is my ex is a good friend of mine, right? She's a good friend
Mm-hmm.
of mine. And it was crazy. We spoke a little while back and she was like, "You are different. You
Yes.
different than what you were when we dated." And it was
Mm-hmm.
crazy to hear her say that because the Derek she dated is much more mature than I
Mm-hmm.
was then. So anybody that comes and try to start static there, gotta understand
Right.
Derek has evolved from that Derek. So you cannot,
Exactly.
and I can't hold her to the same person that she was even back then when we dated. So if
Right.
we reconnect, which we friends
Mm-hmm.
now, but we wouldn't do that. But you get what I'm saying. If we
Right. Right.
reconnected, it would be two totally different people that have to meet each other. So anybody
Yes.
that else that comes along can't say, "Oh, I remember then." Yeah, you remember
Mm-hmm.
then, but I'm now. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I think
That's
that's something
right.
that needs to go into that when you talk. I believe communication is important. You talk to
Yes,
each
it's
other
number
and get an
one.
understanding, and you
Yeah.
put it all out there. This is who I
Yes.
was with. Especially, I don't
Yes.
think you should tell
Yes.
everything, but if it's somebody right up under her nose, yeah, maybe she needs to
Yes.
know that. You
Of
know what I'm
course.
saying? Maybe, or maybe
That's
he
number
needs to
one.
know that. If you smash somebody that is in the band with him, I'm the bass player and I'm the drummer, and you see us, we connecting, you've been with both of
Mm-hmm.
us. Maybe we need to know that because somebody somewhere
Yes.
gonna tell it, and it's gonna be
Oh
bad.
yeah. And I do not need to find out through them. I need to know through you.
Listen, listen, you hear me? Because it could be bad. Because by the time they finish, they done had up on the wall. They played Exorcist and Ouija boards on her
That's
back. I
right.
mean, it's just crazy the stuff that they
Right.
will
Just be
say. And I
real.
just
Be
think
real.
maturity and communication. Communication.
Yes.
This is another one. Be his prayer partner. Man, I struggle with this. Prayer
Okay.
partners, I struggle because I don't like to pray in front of people. I'm one of those private prayer people.
Oh.
I am, man. I'm gonna get better. I promise to get better. I got scolded for that too, and I'm gonna get better because with me, I'm more or less. I can pray for you, and I can really, really go in. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying when I'm alone, but
Mm-hmm.
when I'm in front of you, I
Right.
kind of like
Yes.
God. Here
Yes.
we go. Am I gonna say something wrong? Because when you in your own prayer closet. you can kind of
That's
let loose, you know, you can
mm-hmm.
go to God. But in front of
Mm-hmm.
this person, God, I need this woman attitude to change. You can't say that. You can't say that. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? It's a little different. You know, that's you
Right.
know. But what do you think about that? What was your thought process with this one? I'm interested now.
Um, Yeah, first and foremost, the first guy that I dated that was a musician, we started dating just as I had become a licensed minister. So I'm already a prayer warrior at this point, anyways. And so when we started dating, the dating was based on that. It was based on prayer. We would pray every morning and every night. But as I became more aware of, what he dealt with, and the things that he would encounter on a week, daily or a weekend basis, just being a musician at all, I shifted that focus. So we would still pray over each other and the things that surrounded us, but I wanted to make it about his ministry as well because I understood that he was on an assignment, and that sometimes that assignment began to get heavy, and that can cause a man to stray too because if he's not getting that support, at home or through his spouse or whoever he's dating to hold him accountable or to keep him encouraged, that can cause him to stray away too because somebody else is going to be that support or that encouragement or whatever he needs during that time. And I didn't, not that I was looking at it that way then. I'm just saying that now, but at that point, I just knew he needed more than just me being his girl and us talking on the phone. He needed somebody to hold him, together in the spiritual realm as well, so that when he continued to go out there and do what God told him to do, that he wouldn't come home so, heavy burden and weighed down from all that pouring out he did.
Do you initiate the prayer or does he, or is it just mutual?
It's mutual. It used to be just me because he was like you. He did not want to pray out loud. It was just like, you pray, you pray. Every night he was, you pray. It's your turn. It's your turn. I'm like, it's my turn every night. Like, why do we keep doing this? But I think that over time he began to get comfortable because I had to make him understand that it's just a conversation with the Lord. Just talk to him like we just all sitting here, we on three-way phone call.
Mhm.
You do that. Don't worry about having a hoop and holler speaking tongue. You don't have to do any of that. So I would even hold myself from speaking in tongue a lot of time because I wanted him to be comfortable. So he started to loosen up and now it's a mutual thing.
So he speaks in tongues or whatever, or he because
No, no, no. I
I'm
did.
gonna
He
be
was
honest, that's for
afraid
me.
at first. No.
You know, I'm from old school. I'm like, that's the Baptist part that
No,
stayed with me.
he ain't got to that point yet. That would be moi.
Oh, you the one
But
that speak.
if he
Okay.
did, I wouldn't be mad at it. I'm like, okay, now you done came out your box for real.
Here's one that I definitely want you to hear your take on. You said
Mhm.
go to sleep at night, right?
No, yes.
If he's running behind. This one could be problematic for women who are used to dealing with men that actually strayed away from the nest.
Hmm.
So what is your thought process and how do how do you explain this point?
Because when you're dating a musician, you have to understand that, you know, rehearsal ends at 6, but he still might not leave till 8 or 10, or the service is, supposed to only be 2, 3 hours long, but somebody didn't felt the spirit, so it didn't last a little bit longer, or whatever the situation is. You have to understand that those set times are not really set times and things happen.
Mhm.
And even like you said, sometimes we're going out to eat, we're hanging out after church just to shed a little bit or whatever the case may be. You don't be on guard. Just know that those things happen. Understand that they can happen. And as long as he said, hey, this is what I'm doing and this is where I'm at, trust that. Go to sleep and rest. I am not about to lose any sleep, worrying about what you're doing and who you're doing it with.
Mhm.
Now I want to know if you made it home. I want to know if you're safe. So I'm going to expect a call or a text, to wake up to knowing that you're good.
Right.
But to sit there and worry all night long that you're with somebody that you shouldn't be, knowing that you're a musician and that things happen in services or events or gigs last longer than what they really should,
Mhm.
that's a lot. Rest, sis. Close your eyes, get your beauty sleep.
So I guess the issue, because I read some of the comments and it was shared over 1,000 times.
Oh
So I
yes.
was reading some of the comments, and I think this is one of the ones where he's like, "What? So all I'm supposed to do is just wait on him, and what if he out doing something? See, yeah, whatever." And to me, it's like, heal, sis. You're
Mm-hmm.
not ready.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say. You're not
First and
ready.
foremost.
Because if that's your thought process, then you are
Mm-hmm.
not ready. Maybe you should get somebody that goes to work and then come home.
That's
Because like I
right.
said, it takes a special woman to be with a musician, because
Yes.
you have to ignore the pain that you may have experienced with other men,
Yes.
maybe musicians. And then you have
Mm-hmm.
to trust this musician. Now, I'll
Right.
go a step above, because I will call you. I will text you
Yes.
or whatever, be on the phone with you. You're gonna be with me almost through my whole thing, and not do
Right.
that. But every
Mm-hmm.
man ain't me. Some men don't like to do that.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
need to be able to trust this man, because you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna drive him crazy. And here's the thing, you're gonna drive him to the arms of another woman, and you don't want
Yes.
that. You
Yes.
don't
You
want that.
nag him all day long, and now he don't even want to be bothered with you by the end. So
Listen, listen. Now,
yeah.
I'm not gonna post it, but you said something about carrying equipment. You got
Oh.
pushback on that too. So let me see, what equipment are we talking? Because I play bass, right? And it can be
Right.
heavy. Are you speaking of that too? Or were you just talking,
Listen,
just being
listen,
supportive?
listen. I said grab a bag. So if that be your stick bag, your cord bag, your something bag, that's what I'm grabbing. A book bag, duffel bag, whatever you change your clothes in bag. I don't know. Now, if you need me to grab a speaker or two, I have done that. I've carried some cymbals. I have grabbed some speakers. I have done that stuff, but I haven't carried any, keyboards and nothing like that. They
Nah,
wouldn't
yeah,
let me
that's
do
too
that in
much.
the first place. They're not gonna let me do that. But I'm grabbing a bag. I don't
I
care if you
think
need my help or not. Let me help you out.
I think that was kind of this rubs them women went in. And you know what
Yeah.
I loved about it? You had time. You was like, okay, you want to come over here? I got you.
Yep.
That was so funny. But I'm
Yep.
like, I don't see a problem with I get what I took away from it was saying, you see him struggling carrying all this stuff. Because bass players, we do. I have a effects
Mm-hmm.
pedal I carry. I'm MD, so I
Mm-hmm.
have to put the laptop up. I have to do all
Mm-hmm.
this stuff. And if for nothing else, pick me up from the airport. You may not want to
Mm-hmm.
pick, you pick me up. Don't make me have
Right.
to carry all this stuff to my car. Be
Right.
there at the
Right.
airport to help me. I mean, I get what you were saying. You were basically saying help your man.
Yeah,
Help
that's
him
it.
get to, be there for him. Because
Right.
again, you are in competition with all these others, and they gonna trust me. One of them linebacker arm chicks gonna come carry his bags, and then you gonna be crying.
Somebody.
You gonna be crying.
Right.
What up, Jason? They are leaving comments. Somebody said something about sexual intimacy, because we all know
Okay.
that can come in. So how do you
Mm-hmm.
remain holy with your man? You're dating a musician. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is 2024. Ain't none of us pure these days, right? So
Mm-hmm.
without sexual intimacy, it could be very, very difficult. So how do
For
you
sure.
handle that? How do you manage that?
For me, honestly, because we make that agreement, like that's the first thing that we're gonna talk. Well, one of the first things that we're gonna talk about. But while we're dating, though, that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't want to talk about in the dating scene. When you're dating anybody, put your boundaries out there. And y'all need to have a mutual understanding of what's going on, what's going to come out of this, and if something is going to happen during this stage. If I'm already telling you from the get go that I'm not that type of girl, and I'm living my life this way, and me and God locked in, and whatever the case may be, I'm going to give you the choice to decide whether you're okay with that or not. And if you say that you're okay with it, or I say that I'm okay with you doing that, then we should be able to, get through it together. Now, I'm not going to say that temptation doesn't happen, because it
Mhm,
does, but somebody has to be the strong point. I'm
mhm,
not going to always be strong. So that means I'm going to have to depend on you. And you're not going to always be strong. So you're going to depend on me. So prayer is on a whole nother level at this point, because now because we've gotten to know each other more. So now we're even more into each other. We're falling in love, and we're just ready for those next stages, but we're still trying to keep it where it should be in God. So it just has to be a mutual understanding. Y'all got to be in prayer and definitely on one accord.
Well, I gotta ask this question. What
Mm-hmm.
happens if you at your weak point and he is at the same time? I need to know. I need to know.
Now, okay,
Inquiry
I'm not
minds
gonna
want to know.
lie. I got an actual story about this. This might not be everybody, but this was us. So we were both at a weak point at one point, and in the midst of trying to like kiss and maybe get there, I promise y'all, it's like I felt the spirit of God on the side of me, like stop. Like there was such a strong feeling on the side of me. I was like, whoa, we're done. He's like, what's going on? What I do? What I do? I'm like, nah, it's just, we
Yeah,
gotta
it's
stop. We
for to
gotta
go.
stop.
Basically,
Yeah.
it's for to go down.
Right.
It's for to go down. Now, and here's the thing. I don't think she's gonna beat you over the head if you fall, y'all. She's not.
Right. No, 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 no.
We human, we know these things
Right.
are going to happen, but this is what she said for her. So for those of
Right.
you who I'm not gonna allow it, she's now a friend of the show. So she said what she said, that this was what works for her. You have to
Right.
find a way, for this to work for you,
That works for you.
whatever. Now, some of you don't need to be in the room with this dude because you want to hang from the chandelier.
Yes. Yeah.
You want to, you listen, you want
Yes.
that. You
For
know where
sure.
you want to go. The next exit you want to take is Pound Town.
Yes.
So I would say probably don't go over his house. Don't go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We don't do the spending the night. You can't do none of that. You can't. No.
But you know
Mm-mm.
what? Honestly, I know what you're saying, but like watching a movie and you may fall asleep. I'm the kind of person, I'm not gonna wake you up. You know what I'm saying? But I got a pretty nice size space. I got a 2
Mm-hmm.
bedroom. I got a
Mm-hmm.
big living room. I won't mess with you. So I don't get, I get what you're saying. We just can't, you say we can't lay up in the bed, right?
Yeah,
Because
that's all. I mean, and now if you're disciplined enough, because there are some people who are disciplined, and I've
mm-mm.
met some. Seriously, they're
Mm-mm.
disciplined enough. So if that works for you, then hey. But I know me. I know me. So
That word for you. You play with fire long enough.
that's
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
No way,
You
Jose.
you play with fire long enough, you go get burned out here. I'm just
Bound to
saying,
get
because you
The
burned.
more you around, the more you're going to find out.
I'm just
They're
saying,
right.
we all know how this works. I use these things a
Yes.
lot because they pretty much tell what I'm thinking. But I think that was
That's
a good question.
I
That was
love
actually a really, really great question because some of us want sexual intimacy. You can't just
yes.
turn that on and off. If you used to
Mm-hmm.
getting it all the time, you
Mm-hmm.
can't, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be very, very difficult because I think that's what
Yes.
happens in our churches, though. I'm veering, but like when you
Mm-hmm.
first come down to the altar, like new people who ain't never
Mm-hmm.
been in church, this is one of the things that they wrestle with.
Right.
Because they really believe that they can just turn that stuff off cold turkey. Some things you
Right.
can, like drug abuse and
Mm-hmm.
alcohol and maybe cigarettes, but some things you need to wean off. You need to
Yes.
grow and mature. You're a baby now. So every now and then you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna stick your hand in fire and
Right.
learn that you shouldn't. So
Yes.
I'm really, I'm at this point right now where I'm showing a little bit of grace to people, new Christians
Yes.
or whatever. People still, and even if you're old Christian, some things are going to stay with you. Am I
Right.
right?
Right.
Some things are going to stay. Some things you're going to wrestle with your
Mm-hmm.
whole life, and it's gonna be your thorn. So we're not here to judge you. I know I'm not,
Right.
because trust me, you can do a lot of judging. This is the last one because you said, um, let me see. It was the last one. It said lastly, this one. When somebody
Oh.
hugs him, this was a good one, and you ended it with a bang. If somebody hugs him, basically you're saying, don't get all twisted, don't get all worried. Listen, let me ask this question. So some woman with gazumas the size of Goodyear blimps, right? Come try to hug your man. And she really, and you seen her salivating for him the whole concert. And you see her finally make her way. She licking her lips, she getting herself ready, making sure they nice and perky. You know what I mean? And she go hug your
Right.
man in a way. You
Mm-hmm.
mean to tell me nothing goes through your mind with this chick at all?
No, of course I'm like, you messy, you messy. But no, because I'm the type of girl, I'm telling you, I'm a little petty, just a little bit petty. I'm like, girl, why? I'm like, you like him, don't you? Okay.
Mhm.
Like I'm just a little bit petty, but I'm friendly. And like I said, I look at things from a different perspective because of who I am in Christ. So you gave him a hug. That big, you better give me just as big as a hug you just gave him, girl. Thank you for supporting us. Hallelujah.
Yeah, you are
Like,
petty. I like you already. I need to shake your man hand. He picked a good one.
right.
But let me ask you this. Has it ever been a time where you felt, because this has happened to me as a man, has there ever been a
hmm
time where you felt as a woman, one of your friends taking a particular liking to somebody you've dated or somebody you're dating? And how did you deal with that?
Uh, yes, I have had that happen. I dealt with it by setting boundaries. I had to let her know, as well as him,
Mhm.
what I was thinking, what my thought process was, and stop the communication if it's not going to be friendly or godly, because it just seemed like she was taking his kindness for weakness and kind of using that to lure herself in. And I'm
Mm.
like, nah, we're not going to do that. So here's what I'm thinking. Here's what's happening. And I trusted him to make the decision. And he just cut it off completely. Like, well, if you feel that way, we're not going to do that. So I'm going to stop talking to her altogether.
Wow. I think for
Yeah.
me, I learned not to share so much in my relationship to my people like that if I don't,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Because what happens
Yes.
is they tend to get curious. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then you gotta
Oh.
remember your friends know your secrets. They were your friends once, so they know
Mm-hmm.
some past stuff. And for
Right.
me, they'd be like, "Well, to get in good, well, you know, D was this, that, and the other." And that's how they
Right.
pretty much you seen in movies, motives.
Right.
You know how that work? Your boy literally setting you up
Right.
for failure, get you sent off to jail to get your back blasted out by some Leroy, and he
Mhm.
gonna move with your girl. So I mean, so I with musicians, it happens so commonly. That's why it's a question I brought up. It happens
Yeah.
where your boys or the girl, I mean, I
hmm
will never air them out, but it's happened where my girl's friend actually
hmm
was like flirting with me. And was like,
Mm.
she, you know, man, I wish I had some. And it's slick how they do it. I wish I had a man
hmm
like you. And you
Right.
like,
See, that's what I'm saying.
whoa.
That's what I'm saying. They try to, lure themselves in any way that they can, and you don't even have to share too much. It's just the type of character that that he showed, his personality. He was just friendly and very family oriented. So we were always doing group things and stuff like that. Like he just was honest. Everybody, every girl's dream, every girl's prayer. So everybody want that man because now he. Oh my gosh, he got the man we've been praying for. Let me see
Mhm.
what I can do to get him or get somebody like him. So yeah.
That's good. Well, you listen, I needed to have you on this show. You hear me? Because I
Thank
you told us you dropped some bombs on us. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, y'all need to listen to other women who tell you how to treat men good. And you don't necessarily have to be like, combative. Just some
right.
points you apply, some points you may not. You,
Correct. Do
I
what
mean,
works for
I think that's what you were saying, right? In your
yes,
points.
whatever works for you.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you joined us. I'm gonna let you
Thank
go. I know
you.
it's late. Where are you located at?
Greenville, South Carolina.
South Carolina. You know I'm in South Carolina later on this year, so we
Oh,
look.
you
I
want
would love to
that?
meet
I'm
your
gonna have to
man,
be yeah,
and
I'm
we
gonna
can
come
break
pop
bread.
up on you.
Yeah, pop up on that. I'll let you know. I'll send you an inbox to let you know. But
Yeah,
thank you
please
so much
do.
for joining us so much. And
Thank you for
I
having
need to reach
me.
out for you. I need to have you back on again.
Please let me know. I will.
Is there anything you want to say to the audience before you go? Where we can
Um,
follow you or your Instagram or Facebook?
Oh, sure. Yes. On Facebook at My Kayla Pearson, MYKAYLAH. Last name Pearson, Pearson. And I have a ministry page, My Kayla Pearson Ministries, as well as on YouTube.
Y'all
So y'all
go
can
and
follow
follow
me
her.
there.
I'm gonna go to her YouTube the second I get off of here. I promise you. Take care, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Man, listen, I had so much fun talking to her. She's an amazing, amazing person. It was good to finally connect with somebody that actually gets it because a lot of times you talk to some women and they don't get it. And she left this stuff and the nuggets, I hope, resonates with some of you when you dealing with a musician. Dating a musician is not for the faint of heart. I think a lot of us could go to therapy because you need it before you date a musician. We can be tough. Some of us, we got our minds messed up. We dealing with crap, and some of us need to go to therapy. But before you date a musician, always know that there are good men out here. Musicians are not. There are men out here, they may not be perfect, but they're good men. And you can't go into a situation already being negative because it won't fly with us. It won't fly. It won't last. It's going to be toxic. So keep your head up, ladies. Date a musician. You're going to have all the fun in the world. We the best to deal with, though. You get to see all the artists. You get to go behind stage. You get to hear us play, and we play all night. We play music and everything all night. You're just going to enjoy us. But you got to be mature. You got to be able to communicate, and you have to be strong. You have to be willing to see other women who want us. And I always say this to women that I date. I don't choose women that other men don't want. So it's to be expected some man's going to try you. How you handle it, that will be the discussion. But men coming to you, flirting with you, throwing sexual innuendos at you, that's going to happen. But I have to trust you know that at the end of it, you're going to come home or come to me or pause or call me or whatever. It's not going to be you, me, you, him, and him, and him, and him. It's just going to be me and you. And that's the way I look at it. But anyway, it was a great show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And Monday, I didn't get to do props today because I wanted to get straight to my guest. But next week, we would do a props in church because some of y'all going wild with these props. I saw some wild ones. Now, if you see a clip with anybody using props that you think is wild that needs to make the show, hit my inbox and I'll post it, okay? I love you guys. I am out of here. Hold on. What you mean go Lakers? I jumped back on for you. First of all, let me say this real quick. And I'm gonna go. The show is over, but I need to go back to you. First of all, the Lakers are not gonna win tonight. That's number one. Number two, y'all getting on my nerves talking about Kevin Durant. First of all, Kevin Durant didn't play bad. If you look at the stats, his team didn't show up. That's why they lost. When the Lakers lose, when they lose, I want you just to SHHHHH talking about comparing him with Michael Jordan, because we all know Michael Jordan is the best. He's the greatest NBA player. Kareem is the best basketball player ever. Michael Jordan is the best NBA player. Don't play with me. We don't do that over here. LeBron gonna lose, and y'all gonna cry like a rat eating onions. I love you guys. Good night.